Well, there's one case of yours that everybody is taking a look at, I'm sure. Mi Familia Vota versus Hobbs. Can you tell us how you happened to be an attorney on that case and what was decided by the court?
Thank you, Chair Durbin. I would be happy to. And that case was an interesting case for at least two reasons. The first was that I was not involved in that case at the district court, at the trial level. But I'll give you a little bit of background. The case was brought a few days before the deadline for voter registration in the state of Arizona by the group Mi Familia Vota. They requested that the court enter an order extending the time to register to vote, and the district court judge in that case granted that order extending the time for voter registration until just a few days before the general election in 2020. After that order came down, my client, the Secretary of State's office, asked me to take an appeal of that order to the Ninth Circuit. That decision was in large part made because of the impacts to the administration of elections in Arizona and the difficulty that would be faced by recorders all over the state of Arizona if they were having to accept voter registrations up until days before the election. I filed documents to appeal that order with the Ninth Circuit, which is where the second interesting part of this case comes into play. I decided on behalf of my client that it made sense to reach out to all the parties in that case, including not just the plaintiffs, but both presidential campaigns had intervened in the matter, to ask if there was any compromise position that the parties would agree to that we could propose to the Ninth Circuit. On appeal, we argued the merits of the case, but also were able to present to the court a compromise. The compromise was to, in fact, reverse the order extending the voter registration deadline because of the other conflicting deadlines and difficulty to the administration of elections, but to at least provide some recognition of people who might have registered to vote from all political sides in reliance of the district court order. And that is what ultimately the Ninth Circuit panel in the case did hold.
Do you have any questions in your mind as to the validity, accuracy, or honesty of the vote that was reported by the state of Arizona to the Electoral College?
Thank you, Chair Durbin. What I can speak to is the litigation that I was involved in the state of Arizona. There were a number of cases that were brought challenging the official canvass. I represented the Secretary of State's office in those matters, and the courts held in each and every one of those cases, when they adjudicated all of the claims on the merits, that the official canvass was in fact valid and should be upheld.
Do you have any evidence or belief to the contrary?
Senator, what I know is the evidence and information that was presented in those cases. I believe the courts looked at everything carefully and thoroughly, and ultimately the decisions of those courts are the ones that I look to and honor as the rule of law.
Thank you. Judge Pryor, you were involved in a case as a prosecutor with a defendant, Akram Mosley. I may have mispronounced the name. A U.S. citizen who attempted to provide support and resources to the Islamic State of Iraq and the Levant. Would you comment on that case?
That case was a material support case. The defendant was attempting to travel abroad to join Al-Qaeda, and the Department of Justice made the decision to charge this individual with material support of a terrorist organization.
And what was the outcome of the case?
The outcome of the case, that young individual was sentenced by Judge Barker. During that investigation, however, I was elevated to the bench, and so there were other members within the Department of Justice who completed that prosecution.
Thank you, Judge. Senator